I started giving really 2 years ago, being at Emmanuel. There was really no emphasis on giving and why I should give until coming here. And I remember, I forget who the speaker was, but I remember him saying that he wanted God's gross blessing, not his net. So I was looking at my income and basing my giving on my gross income. And around that time we were planning a wedding and trying to figure out how we were going to pay for everything. It was impossible. And I just said to myself, okay, I'll start giving, and just seeing how God provided for everything. I mean, He took care of everything. I just remember the day we were going to pay for our wedding bands, and I was trying to figure out how we were going to pay for the rest of it. We went into the jeweler, and I tried to negotiate a deal with the jeweler. I said, well, we'll pay half now, and then after our wedding, we'll pay for the other half. So I remember it was a Saturday morning. We went in, and she was looking at her computer screen and thinking, oh, she's going to work out a better deal. And we're just sitting there, complete silence, and she looks at us, and I don't know how this happened, but your rings have been paid for in full. And we immediately both started crying, And I remember specifically the day before, I prayed. I was like, God, I need you to do something. I need you to come through. I don't know how we're going to do this. And just every aspect of our planning of our wedding, everything was taken care of. And I think it was a direct correlation of us just being faithful and giving, and it was an amazing thing to see.
I think the timing of it all, Pastor Carey wants to do an offering, and I'm thinking, I'm planning a wedding. This is terrible timing. God had given me a number, and I thought, Lord, I'm planning a wedding, I can't do this. And then I remember just stepping out, and then God just taking care of my flowers were paid for, our rings were paid for, all of these things. God just continuously showed us that He was in all of it.
I used to be that guy that would say I would give when I have the money. I don't have it to give right now. And when I had that attitude, it was more of a struggle than when I was giving. When I started giving, everything just seemed to fall into place. Even when it seemed impossible, God always seemed to, find a way to make sure all our needs were met. Our bills were paid, and, to invest in something that is affecting other lives other than ourselves. Each week we're seeing souls getting saved, and I think that's a big part in everyone's giving. To give is a great thing. It shouldn't be a burden, it should be something that's joyful.
I think once you realize that giving is, God's not after our money, He's really after our heart. And I always tell my students this in the classroom, I always say, you're not going to want to be closer to God until you see Him working in your life. When you have that intimate relationship and you understand God is telling you to do something, it's not because He's trying to hurt you. He's not trying to make you suffer. We were always, even in college, I was poor. I was always poor. But seeing God work in ways that I never thought He could, I think it just knits your heart closer to His, knowing that you're giving because you want to see Him do something great.
Just recently we did our taxes, and we talked about a number, and we said, okay, we'll pray about that number. And it was this past Tuesday night we did our taxes, and what we got back was what we had talked about. That was the exact number. It was just the right amount to give to the offering, and it was an overwhelming sense of joy and satisfaction, and not like it wasn't a burdensome thing to say, oh, now we have to give. We felt good about it. I felt at peace. Like it was just giving to something that is worthy. It's a good, good cause, and it was a good feeling.